everybody. Tragic happenings yesterday, and I don't want to do what everyone else does and focus an entire show on that. You all know what happened. We're getting more information on the daily, and some of it's Well, I actually do have a couple things I will say about it, but I'm going to keep it simple today because it's just I guess there's no pleasing anybody when there's an event like this, and some people are trying to make make it an agenda thing, and I'm not going to do any of it. I just don't. I'm not doing it. This is the worst play of GTA ever. I don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, there's lots of stuff. I got tons of tabs open, all kinds of news that you're probably not going to hear about as much because of what happened in Texas yesterday. So anyway, I'm just going to do what I do and not make it about, about politics. I'm, never really ever happy when someone's dead, but that kid can go fuck himself and burn in hell. And that's all I got to say about that. So there you go. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. All right, stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome to the Dawg Knight Channel. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, the 25th of May, 2021. The last day that if you're thinking about hitting that Hotep Nation convention in Las Vegas in August, this is the last day where you get the discounted price on the VIP package. So I got mine yesterday, got my plane tickets yesterday. In August, Friday the, what is it, it's 12th? Friday the 12th, I think. Morning Night Live is going to be live from Vegas with some of my Hotep friends. So HotepCon, you can find tickets at hotepnation.com. It'll be a fun weekend. I get a kick out of those guys. They're all good men, and I'm excited about making it to HotepCon this year. So yeah, this shit that happened yesterday, man. I could spend an entire show on it. Just the reactions and the way people talk and whatever. But it's and how to prevent this kind of stuff. Everyone's got their ideas. But I think it's it's funny. A point that I heard this morning, and this is probably other than a couple artists I'm going to go through, a point I heard this morning that I thought was very poignant. The Justice Department, the FBI, whatever, they can certainly send, they certainly can send cops to school boards to round up parents who might not like what's happening in their schools, but they can't protect the schools themselves. And I thought, that's deep. that's deep. And I'm like, woo, someone got the, as they say on the Hotep's Been Told You, someone's got the kufi on tight for that one. But, man, I don't know what the solution is. And it's certainly not going to be gun control. It happens. But New York's a very controlled state. Chicago is a very uncontrolled state. Texas not. But I was reading a thread one of my friends posted, Jedi Ghostbear, who comes here every once in a while, and he put up a thread just talking about how we're not paying attention to some of these guys that supposedly they got information on, but they ain't paying attention to them. And so I don't know. This kid was fucked up. Oh wait, but they're already making now, because though this was not, the demographics of this apparently are not enough apparent to make it about certain things. Somebody's already covering for them, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But before I do that, and I'm only going to do three quick blurbs on that thing, and then I'm done. I'm not going to talk about it anymore today. I don't know enough information. There's information flying around that nobody knows if it's real, so I don't care. And I just got to fix these graphics still. I'll get that done by Monday. My daughter's got to record. She's recording a new intro for me. So anyway, let's say good morning to everyone in the chat and get this thing going. First in the chat today, and the deserver of the bell would be Tyre Alexander. There you go. Oh, what the hell? There we go. Thank you, Tyre Alexander, for being Johnny on the spot. Also, good morning, Advocates Diablo, the Devil's Advocate, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Rotten Corpses in the house, Nomads in the house, bright and early, always lost and nothing else, a.k.a. alone. Welcome to Texas chat, at least for today. Yeah, they're not going to spend much time in Texas today, but anyway. Tyler F., what's up? Attack Alpaca, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning, Aaron Meredith. Caitlin James, how you doing? Nice, welcome back. Simon Wolfwood. I just saw a picture of Texas shooter in a dress. Oh, uh-oh. Well, now we know that now we know we're not gonna be talking about any manifestos or racist or race issues if it's in a dress, and he's Hispanic. Although Tariq Nasheed made the point that he is a white Hispanic, so just remembering, what's the dude's name that killed Trayvon Martin? The guy that had he had a Jewish name. Anyway, good morning also to K shows in the house. CNN sucks, the most redundant name on the internet. Septus Wolf, GDSOB, what's up? Good morning, Anna Lynn. Let's see, I got Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. Nice to see you. HP Lovecraft. Brandon Kuzer, that's a name that's, Brandon, where did you get, how did you find out about me? That's a name I don't see that often. Also, good morning, Cannon Hotep. You know what, I don't have that Dom DeMarco thing. It's Cannon, you're gonna have to send me that you're gonna have to send me that sound file for the Dom DeMarco horn thing, because I like that, but I always feel like that's a Hotep thing. But I'm Hotep adjacent. I even have I put Hotep Nation in my Twitter bio. So even though I'm not necessarily am I Hotep? I'm Hotep, I guess. I'm Hotep adjacent. I don't know what that means. Also, good morning to Jesse Leon. And that's, I think that's everybody so far. If I missed your name, Zach Osborne's in the house too. So there you go. All right, so let's talk briefly about this knucklehead, and then we're gonna move on because there's other news to talk about. Let me move this over here just in case. I was gonna say, just in case I need more things to talk about, but I got like 20 open tabs today. We all know what happened. This dude, 18-year-old, George Zimmerman. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Anyway, they say that I don't know what this whole sequence of events even. Somebody crashed car, went into school with some guns. I don't know what kind of guns they were. They didn't say off the bat, although now they're saying they might have been AR-style weapons, as in rifles that are semi-automatic in style with, magazines that you can reload quickly. But at this SOB, not to be confused with the GDSOB, shot up a bunch of kids and the teachers, and apparently killed his grandma, or shot his grandmother too. This is a fucked up dude, and I have fuck this guy. And the idea that they're going to come in here and try to, it took a minute, or less than a minute. It took less than a minute for people to start standing on the graves shouting to their rooftops about what they want to do politically about it. And I'm like, or blaming this and that and the NRA and this, and they did all you gun people, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't even know what to talk about. I don't even know what to say about that. You know what I mean? This asshole went and wanted to kill some people. Hello, Duck Dog, by the way. Rod Line, what's up? I see you there. FTG, that's all I got to say about that. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about the president's reaction, because that's what fascinated me. Because our good friend, one of my friends like to call him Joe Nicholslick, Joseph Rahim Biden, had a statement. And I'm not going to play the statement, but I'll give you the PJ Media version of it, which is just basically very factual, no editorializing on this one. Stacey Lennox over on PJ Media described Biden's response. On Tuesday evening, President Joe Biden delivered remarks on the elementary shooting in Uvalde, Texas. As of the time of Biden's comments, 18 children, grades 2 to 4, are confirmed dead. In addition, a teacher at the school is deceased, along with the shooter and possibly his grandmother. Details are still emerging, with CBS News reporting that the suspect began shooting at random when he entered Robb Elementary School with a long rifle and also shot at responding officers. Yeah, he got in a shootout with an off-duty Border Patrol agent. I think that's how he ended up having his demise. I hope they shot him right in the fucking nuts. Anyway, Biden spoke at the White House podium after his return from Japan and appeared somber and soft-spoken with First Lady Jill Biden at his side, his caretaker. He began by offering condolences and speaking about the pain parents and families of the children who died in the shooting are experiencing. So tonight, I ask the nation to pray for them. Give the parents and siblings strength in the darkness they feel right now, he implored the audience. Now, and the tone at the beginning of this speech and the end of this speech, I thought were perfect. Somber tone, very, it was very comforting to a nation that is just reeling from these kinds of incidents. But in the middle, he went off. I don't know if it was off script or if he was on, or he went on script and started screaming like Grandpa Simpson. Biden abruptly changed his demeanor when he turned to what actions needed to be taken. Now, he didn't even have details yet, but he knew what actions needed to be taken. As a nation, he said, as a nation, we have to ask, when in God's name are we going to stand up to the gun lobby? Fascinating choice there. The gun lobby? He half shouted. When in God's name will we do what we know, what we all know in our gut needs to be done? Well, all know? What's your point here? Biden recalled visiting Sandy Hook Elementary after the shooting there in 2012 and listed other school shootings. He also mentioned the shooting at the Tops grocery store, where 10 were killed in Buffalo, New York, earlier in May. Following that tragedy, Biden noted the limitations on the steps he could take on gun control, according to CNN, where he said, not much on executive action to convince Congress that we should go back to what I passed years ago. I'm assuming referencing the assault weapons ban, which was, I'm sorry, the undefined assault weapons, scary black guns. I don't know. Some racist shit. Anyway, meaningful gun reform, Biden added, is going to be very difficult, but I'm not going to give up trying. So that was from the Tops shooting. This evening, Biden called once again for an assault weapon ban. Latest reports indicate that the shooter used an AR-15 rifle and had multiple magazines in his possession. The president did not take any questions following his remarks. Well, of course not. So that's just the factual. That's the facts. Now, PJ Media also put out an editorial today, an opinion, more piece, that his tone-deaf Texas school shooting speech is absolutely smashed by Dana Lash. Now, you know Dana Lash used to be a spokesman for the NRA, and she's a podcaster and whatever. She's a pretty big podcaster and very gun rights oriented. Joe Biden's brief comment about children murdered at recess in Uvalde, Texas schoolyard began with promise. And then someone turned on the teleprompter and the president started reading. Big mistake. Okay, he was reading a teleprompter, I guess. Straight Sith Mail, good morning. As you'll see in PJ Media's column, okay, we just read Stacey Lennox's piece. Biden read a screed written for him by someone who sounded like they were fresh from Media Matters or Michael Bloomberg's anti-gun group. The switch was flipped, and suddenly animated Biden raised his voice to spout as much untrue, divisive, and hackneyed anti-gun blather as one could fit in a short segment. However, it took even a shorter segment on Tucker Carlson tonight for gun rights advocate and radio show host Dana Lash to destroy each of Biden's untimely and cheap political points. She had less than a minute to react to Biden's attack on legal and law-abiding gun owners. She really didn't need that long. So, did they have a clip? They don't have a clip. I'm going to just put this. Here's what she tweeted. These are the questions asked by people who not only want answers but solutions. The gun lobby didn't head his household. The gun lobby didn't neglect to monitor his behavior. The gun lobby didn't neglect to secure the school. The gun lobby didn't leave any doors unlocked, and the gun lobby didn't tell him to murder anyone. Do you know who the gun lobby is, she asked. There is no old-timey gun lobby. Modern gun lobby is voters who cast votes to protect themselves, she said in the mere seconds she was given at the end of the show. Nothing was said about the parents. Nothing was asked about the school security. It's irresponsible, she told Carlson. America deserves better than a President McUnity with his hatefulness and divisiveness. She reacted to the president quoting scripture in one of the more personal and heartfelt seconds before he turned political. She said he ought to look into the scripture about bearing false witness if he wants to cite the Bible. In essence, Biden blamed legal gun owners for the actions of one deranged 18-year-old, and then he called for a political action against them, us. Quote, I'm sick and tired of it. We have to act, and don't tell me we can't have an impact on this carnage. Why do we keep letting this happen? For just a few seconds, Biden grabbed the moral authority and then chose to throw it away to make cheap political points. So anyway, but yeah, it's funny. He blames everybody but the shooter and maybe the people around the shooter. So, and then the only other thing I wanted to point out today, because I'm going to get off this right away. Lord Stanhope, what's up? Now, there's an interesting thing happening at the Washington Post this morning at 1 a.m. Now, we know when the thing happened at Tops, this Tops store in Buffalo, we knew everything about the shooter within about 12 hours. Amazing how they just happened to have his manifesto. They had all this information about him. It's almost like the FBI had a file on the guy and they put it all over the internet. Now, it was very different with the shooting in, where was it? Was it in Sacramento? I don't know, somewhere like shooting in California. Oh no, it was near Los Angeles. The church shooting, right? The bunch of Taiwanese Christian church, a Taiwanese Christian church. Is a Methodist church, but Taiwanese people gunned down by a Chinese person. And they didn't have any interest in that one. I mean, they kind of gave you the little bit, but not, eventually figured out it was a Chinese national who had problems with the Taiwanese and blah, blah, blah. But nope, not talking about that. And I thought this one, this is, now the kid's name, I don't even remember his name. I'm not going to say it if I see it here. Is it here? A very Hispanic name, a Hispanic looking fellow, and someone said something about pictures of wearing a dress. I don't care about that. I don't care. Look, I don't care about the kid's background that much, except the fact that when the background's convenient or fits a narrative, they're quick to get all up in that background and put it out like crazy. Now, but one thing interesting that the Washington Post did about this kid. Okay, this kid just shot up a bunch of people, right? And usually you're trying to find out, they want to find out, why this kid is a terrible person and he's probably some racist kid or whatever. But this is a Hispanic gentleman. Now they have a dilemma. Is this a white Hispanic like George Floyd? Well, if he would have killed a bunch of black kids, I'm sure he'd be a white Hispanic like George Floyd. But apparently he didn't kill a bunch of black kids, because the Washington Post at 1 a.m. posted this about the shooter. Gunman was bullied as a child. Grew increasingly violent, friends say. What? Are we given the possible Hispanic kid a reason? Relatives, classmates describe fraught relationship with mother and troubling pattern of acting out. Interesting. Now, granted, they're out there trying to find some people to talk to and get some stories, but damn. What did I say? Did I say the wrong name? Anyway. What did I say? I said it's a white Hispanic like George Zimmerman. Anyway, the gunman in Tuesday's elementary school massacre was a lonely 18-year-old who was bullied over a childhood speech impediment. Is he young Joe Biden? Suffered from fraught home life and lashed out violently against peers and strangers recently over the years, friends and relatives say. Oh, this poor guy. I didn't have a perfect childhood either, and I never thought about going shooting up a school. Anyway, using weapons purchased this month, the day after his 18th birthday, authorities said, blah, 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 I'm not even going to say the asshole's name, shot and critically wounded his grandmother. He then went on a shooting rampage at Robb Elementary School near his home in Uvalde, Texas, killing at least 19 children and 2 adults and injuring others. Ramos was also fatally shot, apparently by police. The Texas Department of Public Safety said he was wearing body armor and armed with a rifle. Now, notice they are not even in this Washington Post article, you notice that they didn't say an assault rifle. That's a second article where I said they did not say the word assault rifle, but Joe Biden did. I'm curious. Anyway, now Santo Valdez Jr., 18, said he has known Ramos since early elementary school. They were friends, he said, until Ramos' behavior started to deteriorate. They used to play video games such as Fortnite and Call of Duty. They played some Fortnite and Call of Duty. They're used to shooting some people and shit. Anyway, but then Ramos changed. Ooh, I wonder if it was because of Fortnite and Call of Duty. Once, Valdez said, Ramos pulled up to the park where they often played basketball and had cuts all over his face. He first said a cat had scratched his face. Then he told the truth. He said he cut up his face with knives over and over and over. Valdez said, I was like, you're crazy, bro. Why'd you do that? Ramos said he did it for fun, Valdez recalled. In middle school and junior high, Ramos was bullied for having a stutter and a strong lisp, friends and family said. Stephen Garcia, who considered himself Ramos' best friend in 8th grade, said Ramos didn't have it easy in school. He would get bullied hard, like bullied by a lot of people, Garcia said, over social media, over gaming, over everything. He was the nicest kid, the most shyest kid. He just needed to break out of his hell. Well, I don't care. Why? I'm just curious. I'm not going to read the rest of this, but I'm just curious why. Let's see. Oh, wait. Well, maybe I will just look down here. One time he posted a photo of himself wearing black eyeliner. Oh, Garcia said, which brought on a slew of comments using a derogatory term for a gay person. Oh. Uh-oh. Maddie, how you doing? I'm glad you're well. I hope you're resting. Obviously, if you're just sitting back watching me, you're resting. I'm glad you're doing okay. All right. So they called him they called him the F word, apparently. When Garcia left, Ramos dropped out of school. He started wearing all black. Garcia said to large military boots. He grew his hair out long. He missed long periods of school, and classmates said he was not on track to graduate with them this year. So he's still in high school. Ramos' cousin Mia said she saw students mock his speech impediment when they attended middle school together. He'd brush it off in the moment, Mia said, and then complained later to his grandmother that he didn't want to go back to school. He wasn't very much of a social person after being bullied for the study. So for whatever reason, the Washington Post decided to go with the sympathetic story about the kid who just killed 19 people. Maybe he's mad he wasn't trying to graduate. Valdez said, this last interaction with Ramos was about 2 hours before the shooting. When they messaged on Instagram stories feature, Valdez had reshared a meme that said, "Why the F is school still open?" According to a screenshot of their exchange, Ramos responded, "Facts. And that's good though, right?" Then Valdez replied, "I don't even know. I don't even go to school," laughing my ass off. Ramos never responded to or opened the text message, Valdez said. So I don't know. Don't know why. Don't know why they wrote this article then. Don't know why. I just wish they'd. Anyway. Was it a trans person? No, I don't think so. At least, there's no indication here, but here's the thing. Do you think if let's say the young man had some trans tendencies or was trans, right? Or was thinking about transitioning. Do you think for 1 second the Washington Post would tell you that? Now they said something bullying him for wearing eyeliner and whatever, growing his hair out, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird that article comes out. Now I haven't seen any, I really haven't looked on Twitter. Obviously they've talking about celebrities who've talked about Matthew McConaughey and Steve Kerr and other people. But yeah, as soon as the news dropped, he was in the community. He was in the community, the rugs. Okay, I'm not sure what community Snatch's talking about, but he's the one who put this article out. So anyway, lots of people talking about it, and I'm done talking about it for today. Let's move on. Let's get into some news because like I said, I don't have a. They called him a bundle of sticks. Yes, they did call him a bundle of sticks. I don't know. So they're gonna I'm pretty sure that most of the media will tiptoe around that if that were the case. I don't know. Let's move on. In immigration news, well, the FBI has arrested a Iraqi migrant accused of plotting to assassinate George W. Bush. Well, federal agents on Tuesday arrested an Iraqi immigrant. Now, why are they calling him a migrant up here? I'm not sure. An Iraqi immigrant planning to assassinate former President George W. Bush. Shihab Ahmed Shihab, 52, was arrested and charged with attempting to bring foreign nationals into the United States illegally and with aiding and abetting a plot to assassinate former President U.S. official, according to the Department of Justice. Agents with the FBI counterterrorism unit arrested Shihab in Columbus, Ohio, Tuesday morning. Agents oversaw an operation which resulted in Shihab allegedly receiving tens of thousands of dollars in order to help several foreign nationals illegally immigrate to the United States from the southern border. Oh, that is, that's a wow. So there, see, our border is so easy to get through that they that people plan they plan their vacation and to Mexico so they can cross the border into the United States from Mexico or whatever they do, because this is an Iraqi national or an Iraqi immigrant. Okay. Wow. So anyway, real quick, let me get there. I can't believe it. Thank you, Tyre Alexander. And Tyre Alexander, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. Who says, drop with the small bullet in the tip jar, aka a 223. Tyre says, quote, horseshit. No, really, he said more than that. He says, horseshit. I was bullied in school. I was picked on as a teen in high school, but I didn't turn into a psychopath. I have my issues, but I never wanted to harm anyone. Kids these days are so coddled, they break under the slightest pressure. Fuck this kid hard. Okay, well, there you go. Thank you, Tyre Alexander, for your comments and for sponsoring the show like you often do. Thank you, sir. In other news, I'm just going to go down the line here. Gasoline has hit $6 a gallon in California, coming to a town near you. It could be even higher, or may go even higher in Washington state. The national average price of gasoline, of a gallon of gas, is now over $4.50. In blue California, it has crept up to a stunning $6 a gallon. All of Biden's failures, this is one that could truly doom his presidency. It's a problem that touches everyone, regardless of their background or political beliefs, except for Stephen Colbert, because, well, he drives a Tesla. And he's proud of it. Let's see. In Fox Business, they said California sees record gas prices. State has done everything you could do to make prices go up, expert says. Because this is part of the plan, right? California gas prices continue to climb as the statewide average price per gallon reached $6.06. Gosh, I have so much family in California. I should start, maybe do a GoFundMe for them. Anyway, nationally, the price of gas hit $4.59 a gallon, according to AAA. The record highs comes as inflation continues to rise in demand and cost for oil increases. Well, it's summer. It's gas prices. They said it could go up as high as $10 a gallon in some places in this country. I'm just freaking out because I drive a lot. It's part of my job, sort of. Anyway, statewide average a year ago was $4.16 for regular. So notice that too, because remember they kept talking about Biden likes to talk about the Putin price hike. Well, a year ago, it was $4.16. So that's from the average from $4.16 to $4.59. So clearly the price of gas was going up before Putin's actions in the Eastern Europe. Phil Flynn, a senior energy analysis at the Price Futures Group and Fox Business contributor, said prices may top out around the Memorial Day weekend, a time when millions of Americans are expected to take road trips. And I do have a road trip planned. I have 2 road trips planned this summer. So, oh boy. Anyway, in Washington, gas stations in Washington state are resetting their price boards to accommodate double digits in preparation for fuel prices potentially reaching $10 a gallon. Oops, no, I want this. Yay! The move comes as several gas stations in the Evergreen state ran out of fuel, the Post-Millennial reported. At 76 gas station in Auburn, about 30 miles south of Seattle, gas pumps were reprogrammed so the display could indicate a price of at least $10 a gallon. Oh boy. Anyway. Now, here's Joe Biden, though, because Joe Biden claimed that he was working to bring prices down, but it's hard to believe him when he and members of his cabinet keep saying that this is basically a tough transition away from fossil fuels. I don't know if you saw this clip yet, but here's Joe Biden speaking on the matter.
When it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels when this is over.
Really? Because we rely on those fossil fuels now. And your alternatives aren't necessarily working out so well because there's rolling electricity blackouts in California, Texas, and I don't know, Joe. This incredible transition that we're going through. How about you kiss my ass? Anyway, all right. So much for that. Moving on. Let's see. New home sales have plummeted. Now, that's not a good thing either, sparking recession fears. Now, that's the new homes being built. Sales of new homes fell 16.6% in the last month as rising interest rates reduced the possibility of home ownership for many families. Interest rates have risen to 5.25% as of this week, up from 3.1% at the start of the year, the Wall Street Journal reported. Now, I chuckle a little bit at that, okay? Now, when I was in this business, I used to do financing for homes and businesses, but mostly homes. And, we were excited when the interest rates came down to 7%. And when they got down to 5%, that was great. But that was during that housing bubble thing. Remember that? Remember the housing bubble of, what was that, 2006, 2007, whatever? And then that shit went all to hell. Well, that could happen again. Now, if you are a new home buyer, interested in buying a new home, you've put some money away and you haven't spent it all because of your gas that you've been buying. Wait, I'm going to say to you as a former person who's in this business that has some financial savvy, just wait. Just wait. Put that money away if you can. Do your best to save. Hang on to that money as much. It's going to be tough because everything costs more. But the housing market went nuts again, and I got a feeling. And as I've intimated to my daughter and son-in-law and their beautiful little baby, just wait. There's going to be a little bit of a housing market crash here, and you might be able to get in cheap like your mother and I did because we were lucky enough to have timed it perfectly. Bought this lovely home that we're in now. Bought it from a bank, unfortunately, for the people who lost the house. But anyway, bought it from a bank, got it cheap, and we're sitting pretty right now. We were just talking about this the other day. We were thinking to move out of here in a few years, downsize and whatnot. But I'm like, I can hang here for a few more years because, if you already have a house, it kind of doesn't matter. If the houses go up and down, they kind of go up and down together. So if you have a house already, you can sell it, and you're still kind of in the same spot you would be if you were doing it any other way. Yeah, we think we're gonna hang here for 10 years. I just put a whole bunch of money into some landscaping and shit. We're not moving anyway. Hold off a little bit. Interest rate. Anyway, this month drop at new sales of new homes is the biggest drop since 2013. The outlet noted the entry-level consumer, which is the largest buyer group, is moving to the sidelines, according to someone at Wayland Advisory. According to blah blah blah, sales plunge as prices stay high. Stagflation in housing. Guess what? When the sales plunge, the prices eventually plunge with them. Just like I said, if you're thinking about buying a house for the first time, this would be a good time to just hold off for a while if you can. All right, moving on. Let's see. Woke activists in the workplace are sparking a surge in free speech cases. I found this one interesting. Brightke issued. I didn't see the update on this. Anyway. A nonprofit public interest law firm says that activism in the workplace has caused an explosion of free speech litigation across the country over the last 2 years, according to the organization's president. The Center for Individual Rights is involved in 6 cases of employees being punished for expressing political views. Terry Pell, the group's president, told the Daily Caller News Foundation in an interview. The expressions in question usually came on employees' personal time and were often surfaced by activist employees, like Taylor Lorenz. Now, as he said, it's very unusual. Normally, we get one workplace speech case every 4 years. In the last, we got 4 in 1 year. and we've already got another 2 starting to launch this year. In one CIR case, Greg Crable, an employee of a Maryland marketing company, Bright Key, was told when he was hired that activities and comments on his personal time, which included co-hosting a podcast, were none of the company's business, according to CIR websites. I wonder what UPS's policy on that is on that. I'm just curious. Anyway, however, co-workers became aware of Grable expressing what Pell described as standard conservative critiques on diversity initiatives and hate crimes on his podcast. They claimed his opinion represented white privilege.
You're fucking a white man!
And demanded he be fired and staged a protest in which they walked off the job, according to a complaint filed in federal court. Despite its earlier promise to plaintiff, Bright Keys quickly acceded to the wishes of the objecting employees and fired the man. The complaint said, adding that Bright Key knew that the objecting employees were motivated by plaintiff's race and political opinions in insisting that he be fired because he was...
You're fucking a white male!
Anyway, the federal district court ruled against Cribel, who is appealing the decision on the United States to the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit. Tony Warner, Bright Key's vice president... Tony Warner? What? Bright Key's vice president of human relations told the Daily Caller after the story had been published that the company had no comment due to pending litigation. So this guy got fired for his views on his podcast from his job that had nothing to do with his podcast because other employees complained. That's not good. But, you know, Taylor Lorenz is probably cheering in the background. By the way, I do have my cup of reparations. In fact, I got it. I'm going to just show off I got the old Paisley Park cup here. Can you see that? I don't like how that, there it goes. Now you can see it better. That's the old Prince cup from Paisley Park. Anyway, and it's delicious. All right, anyway. Also, Pell pointed to the recent example of, I don't know if he talked about this, Joshua Katz, a classics professor at Princeton University, who claimed that his criticism of anti-racism and failure to defend free speech was the real motive behind his firing, excuse me, over an alleged consensual relationship with an undergrad student. Now, if you didn't know this story, so look, it was like, I think it was 20 some years ago. This Princeton professor, right? Tenured professor, had a relationship with a 21-year-old student. Like, he was probably in his 20s, I think, and now she was in his 20s. So he dated one of his students and a consensual relationship, right? Well, he got in trouble for that. And he got reprimanded. He had a 1-year kind of suspension, whatever. And he's been teaching there every year, and he's a tenured professor. Not that long ago, that same professor said something, made some comments about the anti-racism move, right? Which is, to me, is just affirmative action on steroids. If you go by what Kendi wants anti-racism to be, centering certain voices over others, and basically being anti-racist by elevating voices that prioritizing voices, whatever, based on race, which, I don't want that shit either. I just want, hey, let us all have our say and whatever. You don't have to elevate my voice. I can elevate my own damn voice. But anyway, so the Prince, okay, so they write here, the Princeton matter is mind-boggling. Pell told the Daily Caller, going on to say that the university set a terrible example that will only reinforce the feeling of private employers that speech is toxic. It must be suppressed by any means necessary. And so he got fired. So they go through a couple other cases, but basically, so this particular group, CIR, the what do they call? What's the name of the group? It's the Center for Individual Rights, is fighting a bunch of cases where people are being fired for things they're saying outside of their employment because people are complaining. Like I said, it's the Taylor Lorenz thing. She docks you and puts your shit in the Washington Post and gets you fired. At least that was what she was trying to do. Speaking of George Floyd, I mentioned earlier, today is the second anniversary of George Floyd's death. So if it weren't for events yesterday, that'd probably be the only thing you'd be hearing about today. But the Washington Post, let's see. I saw this article. I haven't read it. It says the Washington Post rewrites history of George Floyd's death. Oh, this is okay. So this was interesting. This was a tweet by the Washington Post. Now, see if you can tell me what's wrong with this sentence. On May 25th, 2020, George Floyd was shot and killed in police custody. His death sparked outrage, wide-scale protests, and calls to change policing. 2 years later, what has or hasn't changed? So they had this article about George Floyd. Now, tell me what's wrong with that sentence? Or that tweet? Okay, I've given you a second. You probably type it in as we speak. The Washington Post on Monday falsely claimed that George Floyd was killed when a police officer kneeled on his neck was shot to death. The tweet that the Post deleted within minutes, the outlet said on May 25th, George Floyd was shot and killed. Police. He wasn't shot. Anyway, they deleted the tweet eventually. Moving on, there's a major food crisis in Ukraine. Oh, just in Ukraine? I thought we sent them $40 billion to fix their food crisis. Major food crisis looms, and there's 20 nations sending weapons to Kyiv. Secretary Austin on new weapons. Everyone here understands the stakes of this war, and they stretch far beyond Europe. Russia's aggression is an affront to the rules-based international order. Rules-based international order. Really? Anyway, and a challenge to free people everywhere. So, day 89 of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Food crisis is almost upon us as Russia denies the passage of grains through Odessa's port. The UN's World Food Program blasted President Vladimir Putin for putting the world on the brink of a food catastrophe. Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gabrielis Landsbergis explained why the only way to access to the grain is through the port. Also, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin confirmed that 20 nations are sending new weapons to Ukraine. At a news conference with General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mr. Austin said that the new munitions would include U.S.-made Harpoon anti-ship cruise missiles and a launcher, which will be provided by Denmark for coastal defense. So they're basically, I can't say money laundering, they're weapon laundering weapons, sending them to other countries who are providing them to Ukraine. Anyway, the Czech Republic will send attack helicopters, tanks, and rocket systems, and additional howitzers and artillery ammunition. So if 20 nations are giving weapons to Ukraine, why did we just commit $40 billion? Could it be 19 and we could keep our shit and maybe take care of some people at home? Hello, T-Ball. I just noticed you there. Anyway, and then UN says people marching to starvation. David Beasley, head of the UN World Food Program, warned the world that millions are marching to starvation. David Beasley condemned Russia for a declaration of war on global food security after it blocked Ukrainian grain exports and said that 325 million people are at risk of going hungry as a result. Apparently, the World Food Program has been giving out a lot of fish, but not teaching people to fish. Interesting. So anyway, you can get the update on Ukraine on that article. By the way, as you may or may not know, if you haven't been here for a while or if you're new here, every day when we go through all these articles, every tweet, article, video, everything that I put on the screen, if you see it on the screen, it will be in the description down below in a single link. I'll put a link to a page where you can find all of these articles called a one-tab link. I update that during the outro because in case I, pull up something new that I didn't already have open. All of these articles will be in there by the end of the outro, and they'll be in the description down below. And I will also add them to the Discord server where we post a lot of other articles and things like that. All right, let's move on. Turkey wants to, they heard that Finland and Sweden want to join NATO, right? Well, Turkey, there we go. Turkey wants to block Finland and Sweden from joining NATO, which is an interesting development. Among the providential results of the Russian invasion of Ukraine has been the reawakening of the West to the value of its mutual defense pact, NATO, whose 30 members are all pledged to come to the defense of any member threatened with aggression. And the Ukraine war has led to a spectacular development, the desire expressed by both Finland and Sweden to become members of NATO. Now, hello, Data Wasteland. I am not necessarily a fan of Lunatic's in the house too. How you doing, ridiculous lunatic? I'm not so excited about the prospect of Finland and Sweden joining NATO. First of all, Sweden forever has been that neutral country that everyone needs, right? And same with Finns. Now, if Finland and Sweden join NATO, are they actually going to contribute to NATO? Like, because we had a little trouble with that with other countries in NATO, not necessarily contributing their fair share. And that's why they can have all these other programs in the United States spend all our money on weaponry. So I hope if they do join NATO, they actually have a goal of using a certain percentage of their own GDP to put in the pot, because we can't foot the bill for everybody anymore. Anyway, before the invasion of Ukraine, most Finns and Swedes were lukewarm about joining NATO, but that has all changed. 76% of Finns now want Finland in NATO, and so do more than 60% of Swedes. Finland has already declared its intention to seek NATO membership. Sweden is just about to follow suit. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has announced that both countries would be welcomed with open arms. No. We want you to contribute arms, not come and welcome to our open arms. Belong to the Turkish president, the dour and difficult Tayyip Erdogan. He has already announced that he will oppose membership in NATO for both countries. Since approval of new members of NATO requires a unanimous vote, Turkey by itself can keep both Sweden and Finland out. Now, why would Erdogan do this? He is angry that there are Kurds, 15,000 of them, living in Sweden, and that some of them, unsurprisingly, support the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, which favors greater autonomy for the 15 million Kurds living in Turkey. The PKK is recognized by Turkey, the U.S., and the EU as a terrorist organization. Although this designation has become increasingly controversial as the PKK has greatly decreased its acts of terrorism. Well, they decreased their acts of terrorism so we could take them off the list, right? So that's why Erdogan does not want those countries in. Let's see. This is rich coming from someone who in 2020 gave refuge and Turkish citizenship and passports to dozens of members of the terrorist group Hamas. So that's someone, Dylan Stableford, ripping on Erdogan for giving safe refuge to Hamas. This is quite the thing. There's a whole lot more here, but it's the shit show continues. All right. Hello, Resolute Gem. Moving on, because I got to get through all these. A Texas school board group leaves the National School Board Association after report on domestic terrorism letter. Remember yesterday we read about that domestic terrorism letter that the National School Board Association was asking help from President Biden, and apparently President Biden's office and the Justice Department helped them draft the letter to write back to the president. And it kind of a cheesy, complaining about parents. Remember? They were saying that parents were terrorists and shit. Well, the Texas Association of School Boards, the TASB, has announced it is leaving its membership with the National School Boards Association following the letter the group sent to the Department of Justice asking to crack down on threats of violence and acts of intimidation at local school board meetings, which could be the equivalent to a form of domestic terrorism and hate crimes. Parents complaining at school board meetings, domestic terrorism, and hate crimes. The Texas group executive director Dan Troxel shared his announcement in a press release on Monday following an independent investigation into the letter commissioned by the NSBA. So, this is the first defection of the group. So there you go. Anyway, of school board with the National Association, school board associations, or whatever. All right, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. Dropping a deuce in the tip jar. That's still, it's one of the funniest phrases I have, I think. Black Hebrew Israelite says, I should get ready here, by the way.
That's right.
I think Russia is really mad they lost 2 flagships in a ground war with the U.S. help. Maybe at least to Russian. Maybe at least Russians don't care about the Ukrainian people starving.
That's right.
Fuck Putin.
That's right.
Fuck Zelensky.
That's right.
Let's go, Brandon. Okay,
That's
thank you,
right.
Black Israelite. I appreciate your contribution and your contribution. See what I did there? Moving on. Let's see. This one. Oh, in Davos, the World Economic Forum. Oh, they're so special. These are the best people in the world, and they know what's best for us. Well, they apparently Davos elites warn, quote, painful global transition, end quote, should not be resisted by nation states. Let's just listen, because anytime I hear about the World Economic Forum, it just scares me. This should frighten the shit out of everybody who likes being free. Let's see.
Let's also be clear.
Oh, by the way, particularly when there's a German starts talking about world government, I get a little nervous because we've heard this story a couple times. I'm just saying. Here's Klaus Schwab, who genuinely looks like a giant human penis. Here we go. Anyway, Klaus Schwab. What does Klaus Schwab have to say?
Let's also be clear.
Let's be clear.
The future is not just happening.
The
future is built by us, by a powerful community.
Hold on. I just thought of something. I should probably translate this into German for our German. I'm sorry, into English for our non-German speaking people, even though he's speaking in German. I'm going to translate in the tradition of Garrett Morris. I will translate Klaus Schwab's this little clip from Klaus Schwab is a little bit more native German. Here we go.
Let's also be clear.
Let's also be clear.
The future is not just happening.
The situation is happening.
The future is built by us.
It is built by us.
By a powerful community.
By a powerful community.
You here in this room.
You're here in this room.
We have the means.
We have the
to improve
means.
the states of the world.
To what? Wait, what did he say? We have the means to what?
Improve the states of the world.
What? In English, motherfucker.
We have the means to improve the states of the world.
To improve the state of the world.
But two conditions.
Necessary.
The first one.
The first
is that we act all
is to act
as stakeholders.
All the stakeholders
of larger communities.
To larger communities.
Serve not our only self-interests, but we serve the community.
Wait, what? Wait a minute. Oh, see, he's saying we must serve the community.
That we serve not our only self-interests, but we serve the community.
Oh, not to serve just our self-interest, but to serve the community.
That's what we call stakeholder responsibility.
That's what we call stakeholder responsibility.
And second, that we collaborate.
And second, something, whatever the fuck he just said.
This is the reason why you find many opportunities here during the meeting to engage into very action and impact-oriented.
Okay, so all these people who are better than us, basically what they're saying is that we're going to have our one world government, and you're not going to own anything. We're going to make sure that everyone has what they need. What's that saying? What's that saying? To each is something and something to his needs. Someone put that quote in the chat. I can't remember what it's called. You know that one I'm talking about. But that's basically what he's saying here. And all these betters who will live there, still fly in their private jets to Davos every year because, that's what they do. And especially when they're talking about climate change. And they are talking about climate change this forum. But yeah, they'll all still have their cushy lives, but we'll all have very little and like it. Anyway, let's see. Now here's the part though. Here's another one. Here's a good one. Let's see what this guy says. This guy is German vice chancellor. So why is it all these German motherfuckers? German vice chancellor Robert Habeck said that countries should resist the temptation to look after their own interests first. What? Because this is a one world government, right?
First of all, I would say that we have to stick to global markets. If we are now, and this is a tendency I feel everywhere in the world, also in my country as well, also in Europe, if we are now saying, okay, first of all, Germany and other countries are caring for themselves, then we will increase the crisis. If we are only caring for our...
Really? Because, America, the United States of America, I should say, because you Canadians are Americans too. Hello, check your logic. Anyway, America is, we like to look out for our own interest, and we did a good job of that for many, many years. And, you know what else we do in America? Because when we look out for our own interest and everyone tries to do the best for themselves, we have surplus of shit. And then we give that to the rest of the world. So, I'm just telling you, it's kind of like that plane theory. I use this with a lot of different things. When the plane's crashing down, and I think this 40 million to Ukraine is also part of the plane theory, but I call it plane theory. They tell you when you're flying on a plane that if you lose cabin pressure and shit starts going haywire and the oxygen masks come down, you don't run around and start putting oxygen masks on everybody else. You put your own oxygen mask on first before you help anyone else. Why? Because you want to make sure that you are healthy and able to help others. So you put on your own oxygen mask, you make yourself good, and then you can help others, right? You look towards your own well-being so that you are able to help others. This is not what he's saying. He's saying just the opposite. We must avoid looking at our own well-being first.
Own food supply, our energy supply, it must have a disastrous effect on the prices, on the market. So first of all, we have to keep them.
False. If you worry about your own energy supplies and you try to profit with your own energy supplies, you will create a surplus supply that you can share with other people.
Markets open. Second, we have to see that we have to solve one problem, not on the back of another one. So if we are now increasing the production of fossil fuels and coal power plants all over the place,
which they're doing in Germany right now.
India, you mentioned it, we will definitely have more problems in the next years to come. So we have to see that climate neutrality, the big issue of the conference.
Boy, they've really bought into this climate thing.
So 2 years ago, it seems like ages, but 2 years ago, it's not gone. So we have to solve one problem with the solutions of the other problem. And third of all, when I mentioned open markets, I like to stress out that the rules of the markets, they have to change. So the globalization...
The rules of the markets have to change.
I think
how?
deglobalization is a wrong phrase. We shouldn't admit to that. We have to stick that we collaborate in one world and have some solidarity in the world.
Collaborate in one world. He's getting there. He's getting a little close to those words I don't want to hear.
To change the rule of the markets as well. So these three things, I would say, give an idea where we have to heed to, and maybe this conference can also lead some ways into a more sustainable future.
Yeah. And then what's this Jose? Here's.
We need to accept that there will be some pain in the process. The pace that we need will.
No, we can't have a transition where we actually.
It will open up for shortages on energy. It will create inflationary pressures, and maybe we need to start talking about that. That pain is actually.
Poor people could just fuck off.
There's no business case.
We'll just
there's
let
no
these
economy,
inflationary
there's
pressures
no welfare.
kill as many people as possible.
I think we have been a little bit careful actually talking about the pain in the short term that is likely to come from this very important change. Yeah.
Okay, GFY to all of you. Anyway, let's move on. Breitbart article. What's this one? Oh, this is great. Biden DHS released illegal alien on terrorism watch list in the U.S. Oh, fantastic. They are just protecting us left and right. I'm sure this is not a big deal. President Joe Biden's Department of Homeland Security is accused of releasing an illegal alien on the federal government's terrorist watch list into the United States and not detaining him for 2 weeks. According to an exclusive report from Fox News, 35-year-old illegal alien Isnardo Garcia Amando of Colombia was released into the U.S. Interior by DHS official on April 18th. Amando, like tens of thousands of other border crossers each month, was released with a GPS tracking device. Oh, fantastic. They're going to keep track of him as part of Biden's expansive catch and release network. Did they give him a cell phone too? I don't know. Apparently, he was flagged on April 21st as having matched with an individual listed on the government's terrorism watch list. Oh, fantastic! Oh, good God. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just let them all come in. Just don't care. Don't care. I don't care. No, let's not have a process anymore. We don't need it. We don't need a process. Just open it up. Just open it up. All right. Apparently, there's a UN agency that is decrying homophobic and racial stereotypes in the monkeypox coverage. Can we worry about? How about we worry about the monkeypox and not worry about how we're talking about it? On Monday, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention alerted gay and bisexual men that monkeypox appears to be spreading in the gay community globally. Now, I think that's very important for the gay community to know that there's a risk factor because that's where it seems to be spreading. We should let them know. Is there anything wrong with that? I want my gay brothers and sisters to be safe. Dr. John Brooks, a CDC official, emphasized that anyone can contact monkeypox through close personal contact, regardless of sexual orientation. However, Brooks said that many of the people affected globally so far are men who identified as gay or bisexual. Though they may have a greater chance of exposure to monkeypox right now, that doesn't mean the risk is limited only to the gay and bisexual community, he cautioned. We want to help people make the best informed decisions to protect their health and the health of their community from monkeypox, Brooks said. Well, taking a page from the AIDS playbook, representatives from one United Nations has decided to take the viral justice path and decried reports describing the information on the current cases as homophobic and referring to racism for good measure. UNAIDS released a statement on Sunday condemning reporting that monkeypox that includes portrayal of LGBTI. Oh, that's a new one. LGBTI and African people that the agency said reinforced homophobic and racist stereotypes to exacerbate stigma. Lessons from the AIDS response show that that stigma and blame directed at certain groups of people can rapidly undermine outbreak response, the group's statement said. Really? I would think that it would help us focus our efforts on the response. But no, we might make some people, it might sound racist and homophobic, but no. Anyway, the UNAG added that a significant portion of cases reported thus far were identified among gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men, with some cases identified through sexual health clinics. It urged media and government. Okay, so anyway, good God. I think if you want to focus on actually solving the problem, you need to know where the problem is. And also, if you want to protect our gay and bisexual brothers, I guess, mostly, let them know. I don't care if it's right. Come off as, what did they say? Homophobic and racist. No, let's find out where it is and help people not get it. How's that sound? Shut the fuck up. Moving on. Apparently, it's not just China. The U.S. government and universities are hiding evidence on the origin of Stupid 19. Experts allege. Now, I don't know which experts these are. Hopefully, they'll name the experts. An article published last week in the proceeding of the National Academy of Science has ignited a new debate over the origin of Stupid 19. Renowned economists Jeffrey Sachs and Dr. Neil Harrison, professor of molecular pharmacology and therapeutics at Columbia University, laid out one of the most comprehensive reviews of the evidence that Stupid 19 could potentially have emerged from a building in that city that shall not be named.
China is asshole.
However, unlike most previous analysis, Harrison and Sachs point out that there are troves of untapped evidence potentially available right here in the United States that have not yet been investigated. So they're hiding it. There's attempts to investigate what was going on at the Wuhan Institute of Virology in the lead up to Stupid 19 pandemic have thus far been stifled by a lack of cooperation from the Chinese Communist Party. Shocker. However, the two authors allege that more than half a dozen institutions in the United States have evidence that could prove useful in finding where Stupid 19 came from, if only they would make it public. Most of these institutions are government agencies. The National Institute of Health. Now, who runs the National Institute of Health? Where is that guy? Wait a minute. Isn't that the agency that's led by Dr. Anthony Fauci? Huh. And the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases? Oh, wait a minute. That's also one of the agencies headed by, or at least somehow tangentially led by, Dr. Anthony Fauci. The Defense Threat Reduction Agency, the Department of Homeland Security, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, the U.S. Agency for International Development, that's also a Fauci, under Fauci's lead. The authors also named the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, the University of California, Davis, as well as EcoHealth Alliance. Now, y'all remember who EcoHealth Alliance is? Remember them? That's the company? That's that company, right? That's the company that was partnering with the Wuhan Institute of Virology. They're not giving up all the research, and so that's the rub. They could possibly be hiding evidence because nobody wants to admit that it came from a lab in China.
China is asshole.
Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show.
Right.
And Black Hebrew Israelite, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
China is asshole.
Thank you very much. Who says dropping another deuce in the tip jar? He's dropping deuces everywhere, kind of like Amber Heard. Anyway, these assholes are telling you they're doing this shit to us on purpose. Yes, they are.
That's right.
They want their one world government in opposition to middle class and poor people. That's right. Eat the bugs, drink the piss water, trans, and kill your kids to reduce the population.
That's right.
You know, that's some koofy stuff right there. That tinfoil, by the way, I watched all 4 episodes what's it called? Dysphoric. It's a documentary on YouTube. I watched the whole thing, and it's really, really good. What the hell is it called? Dysphoric. I'll put the first episode in the links today. Let me go to my history here. I think it's very important to watch. It's very important to watch. Here's episode 1. I'll have in the links. So it's called Dysphoric. It's about the unnatural. Oh wait, can't show the thumbnail. Here's the beginning of it. I'll see if I can pause it. Where the hell is it? There we go. This is what it's called, Dysphoric. Right here. I'll put episode 1 in the links today. But it's talking about this kind of crazy, sudden, huge jump in the number of trans kids and how what the puberty blockers do to kids. There's a couple people talking about how they're detransitioning, and it comes from an effect on how it is affecting women, but it is spot on in the problem with this whole this crazy trend that we're having, where more and more kids are declaring themselves trans, wanting to go on puberty blockers in states where they can go on it younger and younger without their parents' permission. This, I think, is a very important documentary, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about this soon. I might do a review of this because it's a fantastic 4-part miniseries. Each section is about 30 minutes long, 30 to 35 minutes long. So it's, if you can watch it in pieces, or you can binge watch it like I did this morning. But anyway, very good little documentary here. All right, I'm going to move back. Let me finish up here with what we got, and then we'll get out of here. Let's see. We just did that one, the monkeypox. China, we did that.
China is asshole.
Let's see. Oh, there's also a new study that finds that long, stupid 19 may not actually exist. A lot of people have been talking about long COVID. Well, there's a new National Health Institute of Health study is raising a question about just how real long COVID even is. The study found there's no evidence of long-term stupid 19 infection in patients who were 6 or more weeks removed from the onset symptoms, even if those patients reported they were experiencing long COVID. Further, the study found that individuals who were reporting having long COVID were disproportionately women and individuals with a history of anxiety disorders. So, interesting study. Now, I still have my one symptom that never went away, as in my sense of taste still hasn't come back fully. But so if you hear people talking about long COVID, you can, let's see, do I have a link to this? Here, I'll put the link to the study in the links today too. All right, what the hell is that? What the hell happened there? Oh, Biden administration wants your blackout emergency kit to include sustainably sourced utensils. Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear it? Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear it? Kessler, what's up? I think I just saw Kessler here, didn't I? I just saw Kessler. Yeah, there you are. What's up? Listen, first, I'll put it on the screen now. The Biden administration wants your blackout emergency kits to include sustainably sourced utensils and dinnerware. Your blackout emergency kit to include sustainably sourced utensils and dinnerware. Shall we read? The Biden administration. Now, first of all, your blackout emergency kits. I guess you really need these if you're in California or, well, Texas sometimes too, or Northeast too, because they're look. They want you to drive electric cars, but they can't keep the power on because they refuse to go nuclear. I'm just saying. The Biden administration suggested on Monday that Americans include sustainably sourced disposable utensils in their emergency energy blackout emergency kits. Energy blackout emergency kits. Energy blackout emergency kits. The recommendations were part of a guide published by the Department of Energy, which is run by Jennifer Granholm, who just doesn't belong there, for helping Americans prepare for blackouts over the summer. The agency noted that blackouts can occur during extreme weather events like hurricanes and thunderstorms. Oh, like your emergency preparedness kit? But they sustainable stores disposable utensils. I got a better idea. Why not just have some metal utensils that are reusable? What are you talking about? Anyway, the agency noted that blackouts can occur during extreme weather events like hurricanes and thunderstorms, which may knock down regional power infrastructure or demand overload triggered by high seasonal temperatures. Have sustainably sourced disposable utensils and dinnerware on hand so you do not need to use water to wash dishes. Oh, I got it. That's the thing I'm most worried about. The DOE blog post written in the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy official Scott Mino stated, the Department of Energy also recommended that Americans have an ice chest and extra ice to store perishable food during a blackout, candles or oil lamps for light, and gallon of drinking water per day for each household member. Well, how can you prepare for that if you don't know how many days you're going to be out without power? Just saying. Have a household disaster plan. Now, this is a good idea. You should have a household disaster plan that you and your family can follow if something occurs. But still, it's like your blackout emergency kit should include sustainably sourced. What the fuck is sustainably sourced? Like cornstarch-based plasticware or some shit like that? The hell are you talking about? Because that's the most important thing that I worry about if there's a blackout, whether my silverware is sustainably sourced. Okay, where was I? What is this? Oh, that's the long COVID study. I saw annals, and I thought it said something else that I'm really not interested in right now. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's the story behind that Princeton professor, Joshua Katz, who got fired, that I talked about earlier. You can read this one. This tells kind of the whole story. And also the same story is also the New York Post. Same guy, Joshua Katz. All right, let me just give you what's left here. Boston University students argue free speech doesn't apply to a conservative writer. Oh, my God. Boston University students were triggered when Michael Knowles of the Daily Wire recently spoke on campus. The complaint is typical. Conservative speech is dangerous and harmful, and therefore should not be allowed. Michael Knowles does not count as free speech, according to students. Boston University Student Government Association recently demanded the school adopt a new LGBTQ plus measure after Michael Knowles spoke on campus, which the body did not consider an exercise of free speech. I thought for sure that free speech was the kind of speech that people who don't have speech you don't like is the one you're protecting, not the speech you like. But anyway, the April 25th resolution passed 4 days after the university's Young America for Freedom chapter hosted the Daily Wire host. The SGA condemned the event and expressed that it was disappointed and frustrated by the allowance of a speaker who is openly transphobic and actively seeks to erode and endanger the LGBTQ plus community. Now, that's an interesting choice of language. How does he choose to endanger the LGBT plus community? Furthermore, the resolution asserted that Knowles' event should not have been considered a free speech event because of the danger it posed to campus safety. Now, I'm curious. He's speaking in a room where people who want to hear him go to hear him. The danger it posed, the danger it posed on campus safety. That's right. The people who protest these kind of things tend to get violent. So maybe that's not what they really mean. But anyway, according to the resolution, the event was directly incompatible with the safety of the community or the function of the university. How? We fully believe in freedom of speech. No, you don't. And expression. No, you don't. However, there's a line between free speech and hate speech that must be drawn. No, there's not. In response to Noel's speech, the SGA deemed it necessary that the university address and actively change their past behavior of ignorance around LGBTQ plus matters. The rest, okay, fuck these guys. They don't want anyone. They don't want to hear another point of view. That's all there is to it. All right. I kind of have to call it a day here because I'm way over already. But let me just. Oh, that's the wrong thing there. Let's fix that. Hi. There's my face. Let me see if this thing pops up because I'm trying to figure out why. Why is my cloud bot not running? Oh, because somehow it got turned off. Oh my God, support the crisis in Ukraine. No, we're not going to support the crisis in Ukraine. Okay, I don't need that. All right, the other two articles that I have up here that I'm not getting to. Stacey Abrams twisted herself into a knot trying to explain the surging voter turnout. See, remember all those voter suppression laws in Georgia that they passed, and it's supposed to be they're trying to stop black people from voting. Well, during the primaries, there was a record turnout in primary voting, and in particular among black folks. So the voter suppression tactics of the Georgia legislature, where they actually just made some rules and shortened the 7 months of voting that they had during COVID and knocked it down to 2 weeks. Apparently that didn't turn anyone away because all the black folks out there voting in the primaries, they had record turnouts. Okay, so there's a story about that. And then there's also in the Durham trial, the guy who ran FBI counterintelligence in the Trump-Russia scam has a really bad memory. Apparently, one of these guys who was testifying couldn't remember anything. That would be, is it Priestap? I can't remember which one. Bill Priestap, is that his name? I want to say Bill Priestap. What the fuck? Yeah, Bill Priestap. So they have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions that he just didn't know the answers to because he just can't remember all the stuff that was going on. But it's kind of a funny article. And then finally, Ricky Gervais is in hot water. Wait. I do have to put this one on the screen. How do you get this? There we go. Did you know? So Juneteenth is coming up. Now, if you're not familiar with Juneteenth, it's an American holiday, and I think they've made it into kind of an official American holiday. It's when the slaves in Texas found out that they had been emancipated. Now, they didn't find out right away, and some of the army that was coming, the Union Army that was coming from the east to the west into Texas, let people know that they had been freed, right? And so there's a celebration called Juneteenth that African Americans around the country celebrate in June, and then now some white people are kind of joining in too because they like to piggyback off on the black stuff. So anyway, Juneteenth is coming up, and they've been celebrating in Texas. It's been an official holiday in Texas for a very long time, but in many other parts of the country now it's become an official holiday. Well, Walmart, the great retailer out of Arkansas, released a Juneteenth ice cream. But they canceled it because of woke backlash. Walmart apologized Tuesday for releasing a Juneteenth-themed ice cream. Oh, God, please do not tell me it's not barbecue and watermelon flavored. I'd be pissed off if they did it. No, it's not. Okay. Walmart apologized Tuesday for releasing Juneteenth-themed ice cream after a woke backlash from critics and social media. The retail giant issued a statement Tuesday apologizing for the Celebration Edition ice cream released by its Great Value brand, a red velvet cheesecake flavor created to match the celebratory red, yellow, green, and black colors used for Juneteenth. Share and celebrate African-American culture, emancipation, and enduring hope, the label reads. Juneteenth became a federal holiday in June 2021 after President Joe Biden, Joseph Rahim, signed a law establishing it. One Twitter user called Kevin Stage shared a TikTok video on Twitter Sunday night criticizing the Juneteenth-themed products sold at Walmart. They have any of those here? No, they do not. Anyway, people were trashing Walmart for their now some were trashing it because they thought it was pandering, and other trashed it because they were too woke. But anywhere, here it is. Apparently Walmart has great value Juneteenth celebration edition ice cream, swirled red velvet and cheesecake flavored ice cream. Oh, this is what happens when you commercialize federal holidays, Kevin State said. Yes, it's exactly what happens when you commercialize federal holidays. Anyway, so that's that. All right, gang. There's a couple other things in the tabs, but I'm not going to get to them. So let me go back here into place. Remember, I did have, just a reminder, in the tabs will be a link to the first episode of Dysphoric. It's very well done. There's some parts that, they get into some feminist stuff and whatever, but just take the entire thing in, because I know some people don't want to hear the feminist arguments, but it's important. This might be one of the most important issues of our time, because I think we're creating a huge mental health problem in our country and around the world, because this shit spreads so fast in such a short amount of time. And there are countries where they are dialing it back, particularly I think Sweden is one of them, where they said, we're going to stop giving these puberty blockers to young kids. There's a couple countries over in Europe that are doing that. They're saying, we need let's slow our roll a little bit. We don't have any research. We don't know what this shit's doing to people. And even if it is doing bad things, they're not going to admit it. So anyway, definitely something to watch. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I am so happy that you were here. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Put a comment in the comment section if you haven't. If you're watching a replay, share the stream before, during, and after the stream. And thank you to our sponsors, Black Hebrew Israelite and Ty Alexander. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do it at it.Night.live, where you can watch the show, participate in the chat, and drop a couple bucks in the tip jar. Drop a deuce like Black Hebrew Israelite does quite often. And I think that's it. Be here tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, like I am here every Monday through Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful day. It's time for me to go. My name's Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.